So this is a review of the Pythagorean theorem, and here is the Pythagorean theorem right up here, the most important thing there. Right, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now if we look at that, what we're looking at is, we're looking at this sort of triangle up here. Now c squared is always going to be the hypotenuse. That's the thing that's opposite the right angle here. A and b, it doesn't matter which one you choose for which letter, but it just matters that you go ahead and choose A and B for the legs of the right triangle. And we're going to demonstrate this a couple of times just to make sure it's all clear. So this problem here, we're going to use that formula, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So I'm going to write that down, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And I'm just going to plug in the things here. This is a leg, this is a leg, and I'm solving for c squared. So just going to plug in 10 squared plus 24 squared is equal to c squared. So this is going to be 100 plus, pull out our calculator, 24 squared is going to be 576. So that's going to be equal to c squared. So that plus 100, 676 is equal to c squared. So really importantly, you need to now use this button right here. So it's right there on the calculator. And you hit that square root button, and then it gives you the square root of c squared, which is then going to just be c. So c is equal to 26 inches. Now, that one there is pretty standard. Down here, same sort of thing. And once you get better at these, you can kind of do them a little bit more quickly. So I know I'm going to be using a squared and b squared equals c squared. So I just identify quickly. Am I looking for the hypotenuse? If I am, I'm looking for c squared. If I'm looking for a squared or b squared, or a or b, then it's a little bit different. But here I'm looking for the hypotenuse. So 8 squared plus 5 squared is equal to x squared. So this is going to be 64 plus 25 is equal to x squared. So that's just going to be, well, this is going to be 89 is equal to x squared. So I'm just going to plug that into my calculator, 89, hit that radical x button, and it ends up with that as an answer. I read up here, it says to the nearest tenth of a unit. So I remember that it's 9.4, and I now just look and see, well, it's a 3 up here as my next number, so therefore, does it go up or down? It does not go up because it's a 3. Never go down, but 9.4 is going to be our final answer, and that's just 9.4 meters. Now, students tend to have a little bit more difficulty with the ones that now we're going to focus on, where you're solving for the leg, because what they want to do is they just want to plug in this squared plus this squared equals that squared. That doesn't work. So we just have to, again, identify, are we looking for the leg or the hypotenuse? And for these first two, we're looking for the hypotenuse. That's why we could solve for c squared. Here, instead, we're still doing a squared plus b squared equals c squared. But now we have a, let's call that x. So x squared plus 6.2 squared is equal to 7.5 squared. So now definitely have to use a calculator for this one here. So let's go ahead and 6.2 squared is going to be, just going to rewrite this out, plus 34.44. That's equal to 7.5 squared. It's equal to 56.25. So now what I have to do is I have to subtract the 38.44 from both sides because I want to get rid of this unit here. So I'm going to rewrite this up here. X squared is now, I'm going to subtract 38.44 from this side and 38.44 from this side. So I'm going to end up with x squared is equal to whatever 56.25 whatever that is, minus 38.44. So that's going to be 17.81. But we're not done yet. We still need to go ahead and take the square root of that because we solved for x squared. So we hit that radical button one more time, radical x, and that comes up with 4.2. And then again, I look there and at the next unit because we're going to the tenths. And since it's a 2, I do not round up, and then I have centimeters. So again, just that extra step of taking that amount here and subtracting it from the hypotenuse is really important, and that trips up a lot of students. Got to do one more like that over here, problem number 3. So again, I'm doing a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Now you're probably tired of me saying that. That's what we're going to keep on doing here. And in this case here, we have b. We might as well just leave it as that. So it's going to be 8 squared plus b squared is equal to 17 squared. So 8 squared is 64 plus b squared is equal to 17 squared. 17 squared is going to be 289. Now remember, I have to subtract 64 from this side, 64 from this side. So then that cancels out, and I have 289 minus 64. So b squared is just now equal to 225. And then I just take that square root button, and b is going to be equal to 15 centimeters. And that's the end. We're done. And all is good.